Hi, I'm Christina, and let's talk about the books I read in June. So I only read 5 books in June, and this is because I was spending a lot of time relearning how to write fiction. If you're interested in behind the scenes of writing, you can check out my NaNoWriMo vlogs. And actually just saying that out loud that I only read 5 books, I think 5 books in the grand scheme of things is actually a lot of books to read in a month. But I think when you compare 5 books to what the people on booktube are reading, it just seems so minimal because it seems like a lot of people are able to read 20 to 30 books a month, and I have no idea how I would do that even if I had a lot of free time. So the first book I read was from author Sarah Sutton. I had just discovered her YouTube channel recently, and her YouTube channel is one of the few that inspired me to pursue my own fictional writing career. And after binging so many of Sarah Sutton's videos, I decided, you know what, it's time that I check out one of her books. So the book I read from her was What Are Friends For? I believe this was her debut novel. It is a friends to lovers clean romance. It's very sweet, it's very wholesome. It's YA, so the characters are in high school, but we follow Elijah and Remy. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Remy. There's an opening scene where they are just shopping for lingerie together just to illustrate how platonic their friendship really is. And then Remy has other issues going on in her high school life. Her last year in high school, she's worried about potentially failing, not graduating. Elijah has things going on with his family. So the whole book is not just about what happens between these two characters, but it's also how they navigate these other problems in their life. And I really liked it. I read it a lot faster than I thought I would read. I read it on the plane. It was great. I'm definitely going to be checking out more of Sarah Sutton's books, but if you want a short read that is fast and easy to get into, highly recommend What Are Friends For by Sarah Sutton. The next book I read, which is also by an author tuber that has inspired me to pursue more writing, is The Marionettes by Katie Wismer. I actually wasn't sure if I would like this book. I just picked it up out of pure curiosity because this book is a dark adult romance, and it is set in a vampire academy. I haven't read vampire books for a very long time. It's not something that I gravitate to these days. So I didn't know that I would like the content of this book, but what pulled me in was that I found out it was set in an academy. And so anything set in an academy or some sort of institution is very interesting to me. So I picked it up for that reason, and it was really good. The main character has a lot of stuff going on in her life, so it was interesting to see how she deals with that. The main character is actually a blood witch and not a vampire, and the whole book is how she becomes a member of this highly regarded witch academy. It's hard to explain the plot entirely without giving away spoilers, but I will say this: I finished it, and I'm now currently reading the second book, which is a lot longer and I'm reading it a lot slower, but I am enjoying that one as well. So this was a series that I really didn't think I would pick up if I saw off the shelves, but because I've been watching so many of Katie's videos as well as Sarah Sutton's, curiosity gave in, and I'm so glad I decided to give this series a try. So if this book sounds interesting to you, highly recommend you pick this one up. The third book I read was Before We Were Strangers. I love this book so much. I talk about it a little bit more in the mid-year book freakout take video, but this is a second chance romance book. It's a short read, but basically we meet Matt and Grace. I got their names right the first time in their senior year of college at NYC. They're both artists. Matt is a photographer. Grace is a violinist. I want to say violinist, but I'm pretty sure she plays a different instrument. It has a very artsy feel. You get to see them young, coming of age, just figuring out their college life, and they develop a relationship pretty quickly. And then Matt goes away on this photography project, and they lose touch, and they don't speak for 15 years. And then the book skips to the second half where they have a chance encounter. They see each other on a train somewhere, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's Matt, that's Grace. And they reconnect with each other, and you find out why they didn't speak. And This is just, it reads like a movie where there's not much plot happening, but if you enjoy movies that are basically just dialogue based, I think you would really enjoy this book. I read it really fast, so I do recommend picking up Before We Were Strangers. And the last fiction book I read in June was a lot different than the others, but that is called One of Us is Dead. Unfortunately, I had the ending spoiled for me as I was listening to the audiobook. You can find out more about that story in this writing blog, but this is just a funny, dark humor, satire, murder mystery. It has multiple points of views in first person, but the book opens with Jenny, who is a hairstylist in this very rich, ritzy area, and she has a spa where she caters to all the rich women. And since she has this spa where she caters to this select clique or group of women, she gets to learn all their secrets. And so we kind of follow her point of view, other point of view, the tension in the group, who's fighting with who. If you need to be in the mood for gossip if you read this book. And then it cuts to a different timeline with Jenny talking to the detective. And while you're listening to this, you're just kind of learning about the drama in this rich, kind of desperate housewives type community, and you don't know who is dead yet. So it's a different way of reading a murder mystery than the usual ones you will pick up when you know from the beginning who you're trying to investigate. So the villain in this book was written so well. She's just has the most hilarious actions, and she is just a very fun villain to hate. So if you're in the mood for some dark satire and humor, I recommend this. Actually, highly recommend the audiobook because it will help you distinguish from all the different points of views, and the narrator is a highly skilled narrator or actress. It was very immersive. So if you do pick up One of Us is Dead, try the audiobook before trying the Kindle book or paperback. The last book I read was not a fiction book, but very useful considering this stage of my life, and that was Save the Cat Writes a Novel. This is a book that teaches you how to outline a novel, but it takes the elements from screenplays, translates that into how you can outline a novel for writing a book. I don't have much else to say on this, but I did find it very helpful. I took a lot of notes while using this, and I am pulling pieces from Save the Cat as I work on my current work in progress. So if you're wanting to get back into fiction writing or start fiction writing, highly recommend checking out Save the Cat. And if you are interested in seeing more behind the scenes on writing on my channel, you can check out my writing blogs playlist. So I would love to know, what books did you read in June? What books were your favorite? What books did you not like? Do you think you'll try any of the books I mentioned in this video? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye!